So just like the previous speaker was introduced, actually Advantech has lots of different solutions, especially for systems. And since today we are talking about the ESG topic, so today I'd like to introduce the solution from Advantech regarding the ESG topic. And so my topic today is how to use Advantech solutions to accelerate the journey towards net zero emissions. So I think you already know about the trend, and as David and Sok-Shik mentioned earlier, right now the world is facing a lot of issues coming from the climate change, and also people are getting more and more awareness toward the ESG topic. And right now, as you can see here, not only for countries, they set up their plan to go for net zero or carbon neutral, and in the near future. And also for enterprises, right now they are coming up to set up their own goal to go for net zero and carbon neutrality. And from Advantech perspective, there is a very long route from us to understand about the carbon emissions toward net zero and carbon neutral. There's a very long way to go. And in Advantech's perspective, we focus on three main topics to provide the solutions and help enterprises to go for low carbon and digital transformations. That is, first, carbon, second, energy, and also we try to do something based on our current emissions. So we focus on the carbon reductions solutions. And in order to use those kind of tools to help our customers to reduce their energy, to save their labor and cost, to boost their equipment efficiency, and even reduce their carbon emissions to increase their competitiveness and to get more and more opportunities to the market. And sorry, because I was a little bit nervous, so I didn't introduce our solution. Our solution is called IEMS. And for IEMS, it is focusing on, as what I mentioned, carbon, energy, and critical energy consumption equipment. So for carbon, we focus on the carbon accounting for the company itself, and also for some of the supply chain, they ask for product carbon footprints. So in that, carbon management can help you with both company-wise and also product-wise. And also energy management. And for that, we have the electricity, gas, and oil, and even we have the renewable energy. So not only the energy you consume, but also the energy you generated can be found and analysis in this energy management systems. And finally, we focus on the critical energy consumption equipment, because this is also a large carbon emissions coming from our factories or our daily scenario. So for that, we focus on two things. The first will be the equipment management and maintenance. That will be for some pump or motors, we focus on the rotating machinery predictions. And also for machine itself, we have the solutions for equipment management and operations so that we can know about their daily situation and also to calculate OEE. And for energy saving, we focus on the public facility that with high energy consumptions, which will be HVAC and also compressor. And I think you're already familiar with the Advantech solutions from edge to cloud. So from the bottom, we have different kinds of facilities, and we use our gateway to acquire the data and push everything to our systems. And as you see right now, here are a lot of different solutions. However, there's no need to buy all the apps at once. So each apps are individual, and you can select what you need based on your scenario. So right now I'll have a quick go through for each of the solutions. And first will be the carbon. For carbon management, we especially focus on some of the customer pain points. For example, if you are joining the ESG supply chain, you will get required to calculate your carbon emissions. And also to export, you will get a regulatory fulfillment like what we talk. For Europe, we have CBAM. They are charging for carbon cost, carbon tariff, and also for CCA, it will be for the states. So as you may know, we have Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 for carbon emissions. And for our systems, we focus on the top, you see the company-wise for the carbon emissions. And also for product carbon footprint, we focus on the product life cycle from cradle to grave. That means from the very beginning of the raw material till manufacturing, transportation, use, and also end of life. So in our system, we try to do the calculation and management based on these two aspects, and we fulfill with the ISO standards. So this is a quick process to walk you through our systems. So first, by editing the company information, and second, you set up the boundary. Third, you input the data with your carbon emissions, and finally, we calculate your carbon emissions based on different kinds of coefficients factored. So in our system, we do have the emission factor management database. So because we know, like for electricity, water, or different kinds of raw materials, they all have their own coefficient factors. So we have to input the data and then translate it into the carbon emissions. So in our system, we actually have the inbuilt database, which is called EcoInvent. This is one of the biggest one in the market. So if you have your own database you want to input for your emission factor, that is okay. But we already have inbuilt ones so that it will be easier for you when you are doing the carbon calculation. So that is for the company-wise, and also the same we have for the product carbon footprints. So let's take the smartphone, for example. We can input the data and set up the boundary, and also we input the data from the very beginning, like from the raw materials and manufacturing, and also to input the data after the delivery and sales. And also, our systems can actually connect with their supply chain systems, so that we can have their data and input them into the result we needed. And finally, to do the carbon emissions, there's an important goal. Usually, for companies to export or for CBAM and CCA, it is very important to release the ISO standard report. And for our system, we can actually have one-click export to have the result based on what ISO required and compliance. And other than the carbon management, there is actually an add-on which we call Eco Enterprise, because in the market, as we know, many big groups or big companies, they set up their goal to go for a net zero. And in order to do that, for the company group, they need to control like what they have in their branch offices or factories. So we have this kind of add-on function for Eco Enterprise to help enterprises to get control of all their, you can say, offices, branch offices, factories, in one dashboard. So the purpose will be to help them to strengthen their sustainability goal and to make their communication and decision making more transparent and efficient. And they can also calculate the ROI based on that. So here are some of the dashboards for your information. So as I mentioned, the purpose of the Eco Enterprise is to keep track of all the branch offices and factories. So here you can see there are different kinds of KPI listed, and with the ranking, so that for the management it will be easier for them to see the status of each of their branches and to keep track like what they are doing, if they are on the right track or not. And also for some of the companies, if they want to go for net zero, they will have their claim goal for RE100. Like for Advantech, we actually said in 2040, we will be 100% using the renewable energy. Yeah, so for that purpose, actually the company can keep track, like if each branch office is on the right track, and if that they are using the gray power or they are going for the green power, what will be the status? And also with the roadmap to visualize the route, and also with the different ROIs, like they can know how much they input, the money they invest, and what will be the turnover. So for the whole system, the purpose is to help our customers to speed up their carbon inventory process, and also to standardize the process with our system and release the report in one click. And make the communications from companies to their own or to outside to control their status and to claim what they are doing. And the next will be the energy management. And for energy management, we usually focus on the companies that with the high energy consumptions, and also we use energy management to help them capture what will be their high consumption facilities and help them to set up the goal for energy saving. This part, we will have more detail introduced in our next speaker, so I'll just have a quick go through with some highlights. So I would say for Advantech, we try to standardize every process. So like the carbon management system, we have standard process and dashboard to reveal the data. And the same for energy management. And we try to make things very easy from edge to cloud with 3 steps. The first will be we collect the data from edge, and then the second will be we do the configurations for, you can say, our equipment or our energy type or our locations. So after we do the configurations, you will see the standardized and visualized dashboard as below here. So Advantech actually puts every analysis for energy into standardized dashboards. So once you connect the data, it will show like the standardized templates to you. It will be easier for you to capture the data once you connect it. And for some of the customers, they do have their own requirements to do the customization to fit their scenario. In that case, actually, we can also do customization and to export dashboard based on the scenario. And with the energy management, actually we try to find out what will be the high consumption parts, and we do the modification based on that. And with that, the outcome will be around 3 to 10% of energy consumption reductions with the systems. And then they can, with the continuous like PDCA process, it can actually help them to reduce their labor costs as well. And since later, I think Jeffrey will also talk a little bit about this part. For our energy management, actually we are certified by TÜV. So with the ISO 5001 standard. So any of the company, they use our solutions, it will be easier for them to obtain the ISO certifications. And then the next will be the equipment management. As we are talking about to reduce our carbon emissions. So not only we try to manage our data, but also we need to do something based on that. So from equipment management, we try to do from operation side to help our equipment in good health, and then further reduce our extra carbon emissions, or you can say extra energy consumptions. So for equipment management, our system focuses on the equipment manufacturers and also users. And for the machinery, we can connect to pump, air compressor, distribution box, also boiler. I would say for pump machine, air compressor, and boiler are very common in most of the customer scenario, especially for factories. And we try to use the system to monitor from the operation side to understand like the equipment status, and also to do the quick control of the machinery, so that we can do the remote access and also do something based on to support and upgrade the system to make sure it's in good health. So this is a scenario that we usually face in our daily operations. So for example, in our daily operations, sometimes we find it's very difficult to monitor the equipment status. And sometimes it won't be easy for us to track the OEE, the overall conditions. And on the other hand, for maintenance, we try to keep track of our operations. However, it is not easy it is not easy if we don't have the equipment information and historical maintenance records, so that we will not know what will be the issue and what we can do. And also in the machinery, there are many spare parts. If we don't know what's the condition of their spare parts, we cannot know like when we need to change the spare parts and how we can fix it like beforehand. And also when there are issue happens, there are many different kinds of parameters. If there's no system data, it is hard for us. We usually go with our experience to adjust the parameters. However, if we have the data, it will be easier for us to do quick adjustment based on that. So these are the pain points that we usually face when our customers try to maintain their equipment. So here we like to use our solutions to reverse the whole situation. We try to have the records of each equipment with their spare parts, and so that when we are doing the daily operations, we know how exactly we should do based on our scenario, and we can change the parameter based on our current records. And further to that, sometimes it will be more passive if we react after we know our equipment breakdown. However, in our system, we can go further with some of the predictive analysis. That one will be the extra. I'll introduce that later. So with the predictive analysis, we can actually be more proactive and prevent from advance. So this is some of the dashboards that our system is having. So our system supports the standard protocol, and it will be easy for you to connect the system. And then with the system, you will know the equipment status by cards. So each of the equipment will be listed here, and by one click, you will see the historical record of repair and also how to do the operation and maintenance. And then also sometimes we will face, like in the factory, the equipment's like spreading all over. In that case, we can use the system to do the remote update. So you don't have to walk to the system, but you can update the system and to keep it most updated. And earlier, before, we were talking about some predictive models. So here I'd like to introduce some of the predictive solutions that we have. As we were talking about, there are many unplanned breakdowns coming from the equipment. So actually for Advantech, we have the PHM solutions that focusing on rotating machinery. For example, pump, motors, these kind of machines. Once we use our vibration sensors and connect those vibration data to our system to do the predictive model. and we try to prevent the harm from unplanned or sudden breakdown from the equipment. As you see here, what might harm your business? Usually it's because of your, it's like a sudden breakdown for the machinery. So like 82% of the companies have an unplanned breakdown in the past 3 years. I think this happened to all the clients or users. And when that happens, usually it takes around 4 hours for the equipment breakdown and costs like a lot of money based on that. So many companies, I would say like over 75% of the companies are trying to prevent, or you can say reduce the time for the equipment breakdown, like sudden breakdown. So in that case, we will introduce the solutions of PHM to do the predictions and to keep your equipment in good health. So with PHM, actually, it will decrease like 25% of maintenance cost, and also decrease the breakdown, mostly like 70% for the vibration equipments, and also 35% decrease in downtime, and increase 20% for the production line. And also because we already pushed the solutions to many customers, and from the adopter set, like 95% of their reports are revealing positive ROI with 1 year return. So this is a scenario of the predictive maintenance. So with the PHM, actually we can say usually in the field, there will be like manager personnel like focusing on the operation of the system, and also there will be like the repair personnel for quick reparation. And with PHM, actually it could be work in both sides. So for the manager, it can create a maintenance task for the key equipments, and also when there are issue happens, it can send a machine warning notifications to the repair personnel. So everything is connected by the system. And when there are issue happens, it can be sent out like automatically. And also in PHM, we will have the vibration data analysis and also the machine operation risk predictions with the support machine task changing, and also visualize data with notifications. And for that, we can also work with other parties with the open protocol to strengthen, like for task management, OEE monitoring, and also other third-party systems. So this is some add-on for the system structures. So usually we use the vibration sensor to collect the data, and we transfer the data via our own solutions. And finally, we have the real-time monitoring with the health status forecasting. And for our system, I would say with the existing data, we can predict the health condition of the next 7 days. And finally, since we're talking about all different solutions, I think everyone's mind is exploring right now. But finally, there's one topic I'd like to mention, that is how to empower our solutions. Because we know we use our solutions to do the maintenance, do the reporting. However, we are trying to do something more proactive. So in that case, we introduce generative AI to our solutions. And we try to use that in instant support for our complex problem. We try to make it easier, and we try to connect with our existing domain knowledge and with our users to empower the experience. So let me introduce a little bit about that. So how we do the solution empowerment. Before, when we face the issues, we usually stop in level 1, like personal experience dependence. For example, like in the factory, we will have the senior engineer and junior engineer. And usually when issue happen, senior engineers knows how to do that, how to fix that. However, for juniors, maybe they don't know how to do. So in that case, we count on the senior ones to support the issues. And then level 2, sometimes we use the third-party resources to outsource, to let them do the maintenance and to fix the issue. And this is also a kind of way to support our scenario. However, we try to make it more easier. So by introducing generative AI to our model, we input the documentation, the technical documentation like the user manual and like the maintenance manual, and also for equipment, they have their equipment error code manual. We input those data and together with our real data. And we try to focus on the energy saving instructions, equipment maintenance, and also system guidance with generative AI, so that we won't stop in our personal experience dependency. We can, whenever we face issue, we just check with our generative AI by chatbot or by email, and they can guide you like step by step based on your scenario, so that you can do the self-service knowledge center and also even further for self-service analysis. That means when there are issue happens, we use generative AI to detect the issue and tell you what to do, like by chatbot or by email. So this is also because right now we already put the generative AI solutions into our systems. So you can also see with generative AI, they are not only just the chatbot with Q&A. They can also generate reports based on your scenario and give you a report based on what you need. So finally, let me end up with some of the successful stories with our partners. So these are the successful stories that we have all over the world. We start from Asia, from Taiwan, China, and right now Southeast Asia as well. And we'd like to explore more in Korea as well. So finally, some recaps that for our solutions. For IMS solutions, we focus on carbon and energy and critical energy consumptions with different kinds of solutions, and all of them, they are independent. So no need to buy all the solutions together, but choose what you need based on your scenario. So that is my sharing for today. Thank you.